Saturday night football brings us to southern Sydney as St George City take on Sydney United 58 in round 25 of NPL men's football. Hello everybody, welcome to Saturday night football. Mike Sheen with you tonight. Great to have your company out of southern Sydney, and a vital 3 points for both sides in the context of their fights in the NPL Premiership ladder. Let's have a look at how the teams line up ahead of kick-off tonight. Mickey Earl has named this team for the home side tonight. Jack Kenny will start in goal for St George City in number 1, along with Ben Berry in 3, 4 Solomon John Monaghan Viker, 8 Stefano Rossello, 9 Lucas Bedleg, 11 Ben Jarson, 20 Tep, 25 Brody Clarkson, 33 Louis Curry, 35 Spencer Webster, and 47 Bassam Sabah. Reserve keeper number 13, Franklin Jan, alongside number 6, Tarek Erkan, 7, Oscar Gultekin, 10, Paolo Mitri, 16, Jon Pedersen, 17, Mason Tatafu, and 21, Malik Amin. For Miro Vlastelica, he's named this lineup tonight for United. In goals, the hero of Wednesday night, Adam Pavlicic in number 1, along with 3 Bailey Rule, 4 the captain Adrian Vlastelica, 6 Dylan Rose, 8 Tomoki Wada, 9 Kyle Giamenti, 10 Carlos de Oliveira, 14 Liam McGing, 17 Michael Glasic, 21 Koya Nakano, and 35 Tomislav Ozanic. Reserve keeper is number 41 Adrian Jamie Bezina, along with 2 Julian Kopp, 5 Anthony Tomilich, 7 Leroy Jennings, 12 Gabriel Tillo, 19 Michael Krislovich, and 23 Mason Wells. Our referee for tonight is Blake Sanchez Cruz, Lance Greenshields and Hayden Kay on the lines, and Tom Selden is our 4th official for tonight. Good crowd rolling in here at Penshurst for Saturday night football, the lone night match on tonight. And we're just about ready for kick-off. Since it's City in the red, Sydney United in their black kit. It worked for them last Sunday at the Palace. Can they double it down? We'll find out over the next 90 minutes. And United kicking it away right to left as we look at it, defending the Cricket Centre end. In the opening 45, St George City in their traditional red shirts and white shorts, defending the Leisure Centre end, or the goal to your left in the opening half. So we are away here at Penshurst, and already plenty of news filtering in around the traps. And it's big news as well at both ends of the table. At the early match, actually we'll get to the early match later, that's the biggest result around the grounds as we stand half-time at Barton Park. It's St George FC and Sydney FC, 0-0 there at 45 minutes. At 60 minutes at Lambert Park, Apia Leichhardt 4, leading University of New South Wales 0. With 4 minutes remaining in regulation at Christie Park, it's Western Sydney Wanderers 4, Spirit FC 0. And the result early today, the massive result, has implications on this game. SD Raiders 2, Marconi Stallions 1. The Raiders beat Marconi at Ernie Smith tonight, which means if results stand, there will be a new leader in the premiership race with 5 matches remaining in the season. So this game for Miro Vlastelica's outfit, a vital game. They can get to second on the ladder, depending on results, or possibly third, with only 5 matches to go. A vital game, whilst at City at the other end need the 3 points to keep themselves out of the relegation battle. They don't want to drop into that. They are 6 points clear of St George FC, who are sitting in the Pro-Rel playoff position in 15th. But a win for them tonight would lift them level with Blacktown City on points, and only a point behind the Wanderers. So a big game for both these sides tonight. We've had nearly 2 minutes in the first half. That's a lovely ball over the top. Flag stays down. The whistle comes. It'll be a free kick to St George City. Home fans, please. The United fans, there are a few here tonight, not happy with that decision. They thought there was a foul in the box. Referee Blake Sanchez Cruz and Lance Greenshields working that far touchline, not agreeing and awarding the free kick to the home side. So it'll be Jack Kenny to get us back underway. A fairly cool evening here in southern Sydney. Temperature sitting around the 14-degree mark at kickoff. Been a beautiful day in Sydney town. Making my way to the southern suburbs earlier this afternoon. A beautiful day and plenty of fine sunny conditions. Virtually no breeze to speak of. So conditions almost ideal for Saturday night football in the south of Sydney. King George's Road at our back. As the traffic bustles past, we've got an enthralling game here between City and United. Webster trying to work his way around Adrian Vlastelica, but the veteran skipper does well to win possession. Nice little move there from Nakano, but it's been turned over. Rossello beats a couple, nearly got through, but Dylan Rose able to intercept for United. They're happy to settle it now, United. Down the left-hand side, Vlastelica looking for Koya Nakano. The tight confines here at Penshurst proving to be a bit of a challenge for many teams when they make the trip down King George's Road. It will take the team a few minutes to adjust to the bearings of the tighter field here at Penshurst Park tonight. Nicely worked forward there. Bedleg down the right-hand side. Dropping back was McGing. And it'll be the first corner of the night going the way of the home side. 4.5 gone. First real opportunity for the home side. What can they do from the corner on the right? Looks like it'll be Bassam Sabah to bring it in from the right. The left footer will swing it out. Adam Pavlicic had a big game on Wednesday night. Can he repeat again tonight? The half volley coming in, cleared away. Not fully cleared by Sydney United. St George City able to keep possession just outside the 18-yard box on the far side of the ground. They'll recycle through Brody Clarkson. And they'll go back to Kenny. Good atmosphere here at Penshurst tonight for Saturday night football. Good crowd, as I said, built up late. Been here for a while and the crowd has built up late. Good crowd even on the far side. A few hearty souls on the far side of the pitch. Vast majority of spectators here on the grandstand side. That one will run out for a City throw. Solomon John Monaghan Vicar. Had time, they were Mount Druitt Town Rangers, now Western City Rangers. Playing in League One this year. Ball in midfield. Zanic tried to work it forward. Ran out of room on the far side. Good pressure coming from St George City, but Vlastelica finds Nakano, left-hand side. Back to the experienced captain. Back through Michael Glassick to the right. And Liam McGing. Out of that back line for Sydney United. They've only conceded 17 goals this year. Sydney United, one of the best defences in the league. They've scored 35 for good measure, so sitting on the right side of that ledger. St George City, unsurprisingly, sitting in 14th. Scored 22 this season, so not quite a goal a game. Have conceded 40 so far. So Sydney United with a plus 18 goal difference. St George City with a minus 18 in the GD column. Both sides still settling into the rhythm of this one. We've had 7 minutes and neither side really taking control of this one early on. Both have had half a chance. Nothing too solid. Neither keeper called into action as yet. Free kick goes the way of St George City. Just short of halfway. Now it's Benberry. Down the right-hand side. Vlastelica had the height at the back. Nearly broke there for Spencer Webster. And Pavlicic cleans up in the orange kit tonight. Jack Kenny in the, what would you call that, lilac? Lavender? I'm not quite sure. Probably the wrong person to ask. Anyway, it's Sydney United in the black. We know that. And that's Michael Glassick for Adrian Vlastelica. To Mokiwara. Intercepted here by St George City. Possession has certainly been fairly even, but territory in favour of the home side. There's Rossello working it to the edge of the 18. Can they get something here? Was there a foul? Sanchez Cruz says no. And it's De Oliveira trying to work it out. I'll get the throw on the far side. Sydney United 58. Monaghan Viker coming through. Trying to clear it. Jarson plays it back to Kenny. St George City happy to reload. They'll swing wide to Jarson once again, who lifts it down the line. Vlastelica, one front position and put it out easily. Vastly experienced Adrian Vlastelica. No doubt the Sydney United boys still coming down off that high of winning the Australia Cup round of 32 tie on Wednesday night. Talk about dramatic. 11-10 on penalties, if you don't mind. Pavlicic with the final strike for Sydney United. There's a free kick against Dylan Rose. And Spencer Webster a little bit slow to his feet, but he looks all right. No serious damage done. And it'll be Louis Curry with the free kick. About midway between the centre circle and the 18-yard box, hard up on this broadcast side of the ground, the grandstand side. And he'll swing it in on the left. That's a lovely ball in. Had to be cleared away. Vlastelica got there to see it out. Second chance, Curry again. They'll recycle through Jarson. Now it's Clarkson sending it to the left-hand side, looking for Tep. They found him down in the corner. Tried to work it in, looking for Saba. They've nearly fashioned something here, St George City. Tep wins it back. Still trying to fashion a clean chance. Flag stays down. Ball into the box. Had to be cleared away. Heavy challenge there. Referee is going to blow that up and award the free kick to Sydney United. The under-20s finished all square at 1-1. St George City had a chance in the 90th minute to win it. It went across the face of goal and out. So points were shared there. Will we have honours shared here after 90 minutes? We've had nearly 11. So far, no score on the board. That's a lovely ball down the line. Nakano works it inside. The layoff was good, but it was nobody there as they work it through. Now it's Ozanic. Now to Liam McGing on the left-hand side of the St George City defence. Vlastelica. Back more centrally, Glassick. McGing down that right channel. That's a nice ball. Ends up with Bailey Rule. The ball gets put out over and out into the car park and onto the street. The perils of playing here at Penshurst Park. There's Cambridge Street over there in the distance. The units across the road would have a great view of the action here tonight. The only one better is here on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. Mike Sheen with you tonight for the call. Trust you're enjoying it. Been an entertaining start so far here at Penshurst. UNSW have one back late. 18 minutes remaining at Lambert Park. It's Apia Leichhardt 4, UNSW 1. Still half-time at Barton Park. St George FC and Sydney FC locked at 0-0. Flustelitzer. Looks it inside. Nakano. Rode the bump. That'll be too deep for D'Oliveira. Now for a goal kick. Jack Kenny just having a word to his defenders there. Not happy about something he saw there, the keeper, and just passing on some instructions to his defenders, including the captain in Solomon John Monaghan Viker. Kenny gets us back underway. Ball flicked on. Here's a chance. Headed back to Pavlicic, though. Fleeting chance there. Webster was awake to it, but the ball was far too deep. Flustelitzer for Nakano on the left. They've already developed a nice combination. Third man in the trio is Carlos D'Oliveira. They win the throw. Left-hand side. Nice little trio there. Flustelitzer the defender, Nakano the midfielder, and D'Oliveira the striker. St George City able to clear away. Now a chance almost developing. Glassick got ahead to it. Referee's going to rule against St George City by the looks of it for the dangerous boot. One worked across field, but intercepted by the City defenders. Now it's Tamulkiwada on the right. Seen out by St George City. Almost through the first quarter hour. Been a fairly even affair so far. Shot count remaining very low. In fact, I've got it at 0-0. And that's our scoreline through 15 minutes. Nakano with the throw on the halfway line. Flustelitzer. Now Glassick on the right. That one a little bit too much curling into the bench. We've got a player down here in the form of Stefano Rossello. Assuming he's picked up a knock on the way through. I think Michael Glassick might have sent him tumbling. No foul awarded. Tep trying to nod it away. City have it here. They have half a chance. Free kick comes their way, and I think we're going to see a yellow card as well early on, and we are. So the first yellow card of the night comes on 16 minutes. So the free kick about 40 metres out from the St George City goal. Tep having to retrieve the football so we can get back underway. Now we're right to go with the free kick. High and into the area. That's a good ball. Pavlicic punches away. Only as far as Rossello. Now back through Jarson. Opportunity is gone for St George City. But that's a lovely ball in the direction of Tep. Flag is up for offside though. First offside call against St George City tonight. First one off the match, in fact, after 17 minutes. Nice chance there for Bedleg. Free kick comes for the foul committed by Spencer Webster. This game settling into a good tempo. Nice little turn, but St George City certainly have come to play tonight here at home. Ball looking for Webster on the left-hand side. A little bit of miscommunication there. Ball into the area. Will be seen out by Sydney United. Second corner of the match goes the way of the home side. Bedleg and Webster getting their wires crossed as they tried to fashion a shot on goal. Now the corner on the left. Signal comes and in it comes low, flat to the near post. That's taken a deflection. And it looks like it'll be a goal kick for Sydney United. Hands went up left, right and centre. No, it's not a quiz. And there's no taxis. I don't think they even stop on King George's Road. So you won't be hailing one tonight. The goal kick goes the way of the visitors. Pavlicic plays out to Vlastelica, left-hand side. He swings it centrally, but Tep working forward. Now the ball ends up with Clarkson on the left-hand side of the 18-yard box. What can he do? He'll send it in. Almost found Webster. Hasn't been cleared fully by Sydney United. No foul according to referee Sanchez Cruz. Webster on the right-hand side now. Swings it into the box. That's a good ball in. Cleared away by Sydney United. Webster will get another go. Works around Koyanakano, edge of the 18. Lays it back. Clarkson into the edge of the area. Webster lays it off. Here's a chance. Good block there. I think it was Vlastelica got in the road. Might have been Glassick. Good defending from United. All hands to the pump. Shot blocked on 18. Monaghan Viker like the look of it. Sydney United up to the task defensively. But they're still under all sorts of pressure here, the visitors. Webster made the run there. Just couldn't quite reach him. Knocked away by Glassick. Now United defending again. Seemingly the majority of the 20 minutes we've had has been United defend. City attacking. That's Louis Curry on the left. Now it's Clarkson. What can he do here? I'll go back to Tep. Nice ball down the left-hand side. It'll sit up there for Saba. Ball into the area was good, just couldn't find Webster. Clarkson's been busy early. They switch to the right, St George City. Now it's Jarson. More centrally. They recycle St George City to the left. Clarkson's had a busy night so far. Jarson keeps it in. Good control there, but there's the foul on Kyle Chimenti. Free kick on halfway going the way of Sydney United. And a yellow card as well for that challenge. So one card apiece in the opening 22 minutes. Still yet to see a shot on target so far. Now Sydney United trying to create an attacking opportunity. There's Ozanic swinging it wide to the right-hand side. Now it's Dylan Rose on the edge of the box, and it'll be a corner to Sydney United. Their first comes midway through the first half. That'll be Koya Nakano to send it in. Right-hand side of the field for Sydney United. Can they break the deadlock midway through the first half? Corner to come in now. Low to the near post and easily seen away by St George City. Very poor there from Sydney United. You would have thought they'd get a better delivery in, but they get a second chance here. Did that take the hand? Referee says no. Has to be cleared away. Tep knocks it outside the 18-yard box, and we've got a free kick going the way of St George City. I still don't have a shot on goal in the opening 23 and a half. Foul count I've got at 5-4 in favour of St George City. 2 corners to 1 in favour of City and 1 yellow card apiece. St George City caught for offside once. They're all the numbers that matter, along with the main one, which you can see is St George City 0, Sydney United 58-0. Mike Sheen with you tonight. Great to have your company through the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. Fine and cool night breeze, just picking up a touch here at Penshurst. We are sheltered by the grandstand here, but breeze just picking up a touch. A lot of puffer jackets and long sleeves, the order of the night. Still have to come prepared for Saturday night football, especially in the depths of winter in old Sydney town. Adrian Vlastelica with the long sleeves tonight. He's not the only one. See 2 or 3 in the black uniform with the long sleeves, and more than a couple in the red and white as well. So certainly that time of year. Ball flicked on down the line on the right, but that'll get stopped by Jack Kenny just short of his own line, and he'll pick up and reset play. "20 minutes to half-time. No goals yet, but plenty of action. Precious few chances. Will we see one here for City United? Nice little curling ball to the outside. Finds Bailey Rule. Hard up against the line. Swings it in. Shot comes in and Kenny claims it. First shot of the night on 25 minutes. And easily taken at the back by Jack Kenny, who punches that one deep into the night sky. Found about 65 metres. Michael Glassick at the fall of the ball, but it's been knocked away, and Bedleg for St George City tries to work it forward. McGing dropping back, trying to use the touchline and the line as a friend, and wins out. After all, with 5 minutes remaining at Lambert Park, it's RPL Leichhardt 4, University of New South Wales 1. As it stands, they will go top of the table. Believe it or not. Here's a chance for St George City down the left-hand side. That one onto the roof. First real chance from the home side. Quick run down the left-hand side. The shot fired in. Pavlicic watching that one sail over his head and onto the roof of the net. I would imagine Mickey Earl would be the happier of the two coaches through the opening 25-plus minutes. His side certainly applying the pressure tonight, Miro Vlastelica. Probably a little more reserved, knowing they've had a big week of football. Still wants the 3 points tonight, but we'll understand if the boys are more than a little flat. Here's a chance. Jarson down the right. Ball cut back, shot on goal. Easily stopped by Adam Pavlicic. You can hear the chat out in the middle. Classic finds Vlastelica. Now the ball looking for Nakano, intercepted by St George City. Webster gets it from Rossello down the right. Does he want to take a shot? He doesn't know what he wants to do there. Webster got betwixt and between and tripped over his own bootlaces and turned it over in the process. Didn't know whether he wanted to pass or shoot or something else, and in the end he did none of the above. Sydney United take over. That one takes a deflection off Bassam Sabah, playing on the left for Sydney, St George City. Sydney United happy to retain possession and do so inside their own half as well. Vlastelica back to Pavlicic. Has to get rid of it through Dylan Rose. Here's a chance. Webster centres it. Great save, Pavlicic. Still not over. Second effort in. Ball to the back post over the head. Bassam Sabah chases it down. Keeps it in. Still Sydney United on the defensive. They have to clear now. They finally do. Great work from St George City applying the pressure. United under a world of pressure, and they've managed to come away with it. Upfield they go. Tep. Works it back for City. Now it's Rossello. Through midfield. Tried to find Webster, but well read there. Nakano. A little bit of possession football here for Sydney United. Classic and Vlastelica are combining again. Now it's Dylan Rose through midfield. It's going to break here for Sydney United. Oliveira to the right-hand side. Ball into the area. Tep saw that and shut it down, and they clear it away. St George City up towards halfway. They control it here, the home side. Here's a chance for United down the right-hand side. Kenny gets across easily. It was more of a cross, we'll call it a shot, but more of a cross, and Kenny, with no black shirts coming at him, knew he had time to pick that up easily. Just past the hour mark at Barton Park. Still no goals between St George FC and Sydney FC. Here's a chance for Sydney United to defend, but they'll win the free kick. I think there was a handball call against St George City there. Zanic wanted to go quickly, but the St George City defence making sure nothing was available. Vlastelica, a lovely ball forward. Found Kyle Chimenti. Backline's been busy tonight for Sydney United. Dylan Rose playing as the defensive mid. Nakano has Wada on the left. Tried to find him, but couldn't end up with it. Falls to Jarson. He's happy to clear, in St George City trying to play up-tempo football. There was a hold of the shirt there, and referee Blake Sanchez-Cruz saw it. And awards the free kick to St George City. Vlastelica gets away with one there. Thought he might have committed the foul on Bedleg, but referee Sanchez-Cruz ruled otherwise. Already 32 and a half minutes gone, so the game has been played at a great tempo tonight. I'll certainly enjoy a drink in about 12 minutes' time. Certainly earned it tonight. There's a chance for St George City. Subber, left-hand side, turning in and out of trouble. That took a deflection. It's been ruled last off St George City. It'll be a Sydney United throw. So the ball ends up with Pavlicic. Nakano. Back to Vlastelica. Now it's Dylan Rose. It's a chance for St George City though. Monaghan Viker sending it wide to the right. Kept in by Nakano, under pressure from Webster. The backup comes in Jarson. Webster has to retreat. Eventually goes all the way back to Ben Berry. That'll go out for a City throw on the near side. 10 and change remaining in the first half. Jarson heaves it into the box. Not a bad ball, but easily read by Glassick. St George City keeping the pressure on. A little bit of head tennis. Little break for D'Oliveira, who works it forward. Half a shout for handball. Tep drops back and plays back to Kenny. Dylan Rose just works it forward. Glassick puts a boot through it. Here's a chance. Jarson tearing back. Does enough. Referee Sanchez Cruz rules goal kick. United fans thought they'd won a corner. Collective breath hold there from all in the crowd here at Penshurst. Referee Blake Sanchez Cruz, after a moment, deciding to rule in favour of the home side. Nakano swings cross field, headed away. Kenny comes out. Little chip ball over the top is a nice one. It couldn't be controlled there by Solomon John Monaghan Viker. Sydney United keeping the pressure on. Around the grounds from today's action, full time at Lambert Park. Apia Leichhardt 4, University of New South Wales 1. Full time at Christie Park, the Arctic Circle. Western Sydney Wanderers 4, Spirit FC 0. And the big result, full time at Ernie Smith Reserve, SD Raiders 2, Marconi Stallions 1. So as it stands, Apia are top of the table. Marconi now sitting second. If Sydney United can get 3 points here tonight, they'll remain in the hunt for third place. But through 37 and a half minutes, no goals yet. Spencer Webster trying to do something about it. Goes himself left-hand side. Oh, that was centimetres away. Great work there from Spencer Webster. Pavlicic was full stretch to the left, and he just sailed wide. First true shot on goal from either side. And St George City millimetres from going one up. United, shot fired across the bow. How can they respond? Playing some possession football tonight. Vlastelica works it long and wide. Crossfield, here's a chance. Ozanic to the right-hand side. Ball into the box now, headed away. St George City able to clear their lines. Collectively take a breath here with 6.5 to the break. No goals so far, but not for lack of trying. Now it's Dylan Rose working it forward. Classic for Vlastelica. That'll be too deep, and Kenny claims it in front of the oncoming Kyle Gementi. Meanwhile, St George City attacking down the left-hand side. Saba nearly got around the gap. McGing almost gave him half a metre, and he nearly snuck through the gate. Free kick goes the way of City. Approaching 5 minutes remaining in the first half already. Game played at a very good pace tonight. Shots have been few and far between, but becoming more frequent in the later stages of the first half. Trying to work in tight spaces there, St George City. Didn't work out for them, and Pavlicic will clean up at the back. Ball out of play. Throw to be taken by Koyanakano. D'Oliveira back to Vlastelica. Classic pushing forward. Vlastelica. Nice ball through. Here's a chance for D'Oliveira on the left. It's seen out. Ball coming into the area. Seen out. Now it's D'Oliveira. In fact, it's Classic. Now Dylan Rose. McGing playing more centrally. All the way back to Pavlicic. Just over 3 minutes in regulation. Now down the left, it's Louis Curry. St George City working that touch line on the left-hand side. They get the throw going their way. City keeping the pressure on with the throw on the left-hand side near the 18-yard box. Last couple of minutes of the first half coming up. Won't be a lot of added time, you would think, with very few stoppages in the opening 45. Tom Selden, our fourth official tonight, will indicate how much time we have to be added on. St George City, half a chance for them, but again, Sydney United clear it away. And the home side get the throw on the Cambridge Avenue side, the far side of the ground as we see it, with around 90 seconds to go in regulation in the first half. There's a chance for St George City late, the shot in. Pavlicic falls on it easily. They've certainly been the more prepared to shoot tonight, St George City. Nakano down the left, full stretch, did well to pull that in. Keeps it on the grandstand touch line. D'Oliveira works it inside. That's a nice ball for Tomoki-Wada. But St George City able to clear and intercept. They've got some room to move here. Bassam Saba down the left-hand side. Drawing the defenders. Ball worked forward, took a deflection. Sydney United able to clear. Tomoki-Wada to the right-hand side. Great defending from Tep. Dylan Rose now. Chips it left-hand side for Nakano. Sends it into the box, but cleared away just as easily. City able to control possession, at least briefly. Saba did well. Sydney United with another chance on the left. A low ball takes a deflection. Kenny got down to it easily on his left-hand side and made sure nothing developed out of that. Didn't see the number held up there by the fourth official, Tom Selden. I would imagine it would only be 1 minute. Excuse me. I would imagine it would be only the 1 minute to be added in the first half. As I said, we haven't had many stoppages. Certainly an up-tempo affair here at Penshurst tonight. As we approach the interval. Neither side able to find a goal yet. Hasn't been many chances. St George City with the better of them. Hard to recall Sydney United really having a good shot on goal as we hit 46 minutes. Speaking of chances, here's one. Nakano tried to centre it. I'll get the corner as a result, Sydney United. The United fans off to our left groaned. They wanted him to take the shot there, Koya Nakano, but he decided to play provider instead. Will it lead to a goal in stoppage time in the first half? Corner on the left. In it comes, cleared away to the top of the 18, and that one will end up over in the car park. And Blake Sanchez Cruz says, thank you, gentlemen. Time for oranges. And at the break, we remain all square. St George City 0, Sydney United 58-0. An entertaining half. No goals so far through the first 45. Will we have more in the second? Stay with us in about 15 minutes and we'll find out.
Every week, hundreds of thousands of people turn up around football grounds around New South Wales. Parents, kids, refs, coaches and volunteers. Cardiac incidents can happen to anyone at any time on the pitch.
Right now, not every club has a defibrillator.
And the ones that do are not always maintained or ready to use. In a critical moment, with a defib, that could save lives. That's why Football New South Wales, St John Ambulance and Toyota have come together for Every Beat Matters to help clubs around New South Wales to access defibrillators, cover maintenance and build a register so we know exactly where every unit is around the state. All you need to do is buy a ticket through Raffletix. $5 can make a difference. Every ticket goes towards funding defibrillators and maintenance for clubs that need it most. A live fundraising board shows exactly how much is being raised. And every ticket you buy puts you in the draw to win a Toyota Corolla. One ticket, real impact. Help your club be ready when it matters. So buy your ticket today.
Cameron has a go, and Jesse Cameron finds the back of the net. Manages to keep it in, cuts it back. Jack Stewart, the man in form, back to Delhi. Now Rory Jordan, first time, Rory Jordan. Space still going, feeds in Lual, flag stays down, Lual! Our Lual! Jack Stewart delivers. Header flicked on, and it makes its way in. It's an own goal in the end. Repelled. In fact, it was Jesse Cameron's head, and Awa Lual puts the Wanderers back in front again. And Ortiz buries it in the bottom corner. Allen picked the right side. Presley Ortiz now. Still Ortiz. Looking for the space on the right. Ortiz finds the pass to Court, and Max Court. Yes, he can. He goes the same way, finds the same corner, gets his second of the game.
Roberts, and Finchy overlapping. He's so keen to do that. The delivery's not bad. It's led to the opening goal. Tapped in at the back post. 24-year-old Spirit winger Shoki Yoshida. Again causing problems. Top of the box is Armson. Delivers with his left foot. It's right on the money. And there's the equaliser for Riku Kobayashi. Armson. And Lopez plays it for Harb. He's the danger. And he's got the beating of Williams. The ball's brilliant. And NSW have their lead back. Well, that's going to help them out. Spirit on very different pages, and Harb driving towards goal. Smith backpedaling. Harb! What a player this young lad is!
Drops it outside for a Fuka. He's got Mayan Bani in the box to aim at. Olsen coming short. Plays it now for Olsen. Olsen, can he release a shot? Olsen with the shot! That's a terrific low-driven shot from Nick Olsen. But it evades everybody in the box. But comes for Armanakis. Armanakis now dinks it in. Comes in low, flicked around, and it's coming off the post, and it's in there! They've got themselves the equaliser. Armanakis with the cross.
Dax Kelly and has shown his worth as well. That's a ball for Kianese, and that's a brilliant header. The opening goal comes the way of SD Raiders. Try and attack at, but Hernandez could change that now. Still going Hernandez, cross in for Mashivecchio, and it's an instant response from the Wolves. Yamamura, forwards for Madden. And here's Hernandez, straight through on goal. Sebastian Hernandez, still going, goes round the caper and scores. But that's given away, and now Kianese can play it on for Fernandez, and back to Kianese, lovely clipped in goal. Beautiful chip and a perfect start to this second half. Farah's ball in is a good one. Kianese has buried it, and he's got a hat-trick.
Now Kunamoto. Dropping a bit short, here's McCarthy, allowed to turn, threading a through ball. Now, here's James Telmokovsky, and he scored, so Rockdale didn't take long. Here's Jaden Casella, and he sends Kate the wrong way. A quick equaliser for the host. A big cheer from the crowd. As Skatana swings it in, great pace on it, and there's a goal to put Rockdale back in front. How about the ball from Jerry Skatadis? Now, in-swinger, and the flick header is in, and it's another Rockdale goal. Set piece is doing the damage once again. They're 3-1 up with halftime nearly upon us. As Van der Sar and might stay in. Can Rockdale keep it alive? They do. It could be a chance, and surely now it's side-footed in by Jerry Skatadis, and it's 4-1 to Rockdale. Also on the edge of the box, decent corner, and headed away. Riborevsky, he swings the left boot, and it's in, and it's going to be Marchevsky, I think. Might turn into an attack, and Moody Najjar tends to make it 6, and that's what he has done.
On the feet of Travis Major now, who looks to get around the outside and inside of Mason Tatafu, and does just that. Whoa! Just like that! The corner is swept in. Strike arriving from Mitch Malia, lurking at the back stick with real dangerous intent. But only succeeds in turning it over. Here's Travis Major. Kozewski is streaming forward into the area. He'll have a go as well. Oh! What a finish that is! Sasha Kozewski, take a bow.
Good afternoon. Chop. Makono joining in the attack. This is better from Sydney United. De Oliveira rides one challenge, finds Wells. Mason Wells opens the scoring for Sydney United. Brilliant drag back, and the finish was even.
Welcome back to Penshurst Park. Half-time in our round 25 NPL New South Wales match. And it's all square, 0-0 between St George City and Sydney United 58. Mike Sheen with you tonight. Great to have your company on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. Saturday night football out of the southern suburbs of Sydney. And we've got a good one here. Might be third against 14th, but you wouldn't know it. And the team that's running third are probably not the ones that are in control of the game. Sydney United have made a double substitution at half-time. Leroy Jennings and the leading goal scorer for Sydney United, Mason Wells. He's not the leading goal scorer, but one of the leading goal scorers have come on at half-time. As referee Blake Sanchez Cruz gets us underway. Sydney United in the black, St George City in the red and white. So those two changes for Sydney United at the break. Leroy Jennings and Mason Wells coming on. I think you'll find Bailey Rule might be one of those to make way. And the other one, just trying to pick up if Liam McGing's out there. Got a throw here for St George City. Be Solomon John Monaghan Viker with the throw, left-hand side. There's a chance for Louis Coury. Working down the left channel, very tight channel there. Monaghan Viker trying to work it inside. Will fall to Saba. Here's a chance for Sydney United now. I'm sure Miro Vlastelica would have read them the right act at half-time. They need to lift. A lovely ball through, trying to pick out Mason Wells on the left-hand side, but Jack Kenny got across there in time to shut it down. Early stages of the second half. Nearly 2 minutes gone. So Miro Vlastelica obviously not happy with what he's seen in the opening 45. Free kick going the way of Sydney United. Obviously, Miro didn't like what he saw in the opening 45 minutes and decided to make a double change. Leroy Jennings and Mason Wells going through some warm-ups during the half-time break, away from the rest of the squad. All into the area, lovely one in. Not cleared away fully. Sydney United, D'Oliveira, edge of the box. Cleared away. Webster down the left. He's been dangerous tonight. Spencer Webster finds a metre of space down this grandstand touchline. Two black shirts there. He's still chasing hard. Was there a foul on Rose? Referee says no. Pressing hard, St George City United have to clear. Now Coury for Webster, the 1-2. Coury got inside. Into the box. That was a delicious ball in. Couldn't get on the end of it, Rossello. United, all sorts of pressure on them tonight. They win the throw on the Cambridge Avenue side of Penshurst Park. The ball in was exquisite. Rossello Rose just couldn't reach. Would have been a cracking goal to open the account tonight. But it wasn't to be for the home side. They have certainly not failed in their efforts, and Mickey Earl would be delighted with what his side have produced in the first 45 and the first couple of the second. Webster, wide for Saba. Towards the line he goes, takes on McGing, works it in. There's bodies there! There's a goal to St George City! There's the opener on 48 minutes! They've deserved that and the celebrations are warranted. St George City 1, Sydney United 58-0. St George City play from in front. A well-deserved goal. And it's City 1, United 0. And I think it was Lucas Bedleg with the goal. Ball flashed into the area and he tapped it home past Adam Pavlicic. They haven't conceded in 2 games in the league at least. They did concede on Wednesday night in the Cup. And now they play from behind, Sydney United. Upsets galore in round 25. Is there another one on the cards here at Penshurst? Nice ball inside from Jennings. Found Oliveira. Has this woken the United machine? Ball eventually cleared away by Tep and out. This one's come to life after oranges. Obviously, the words of Mickey Ural and Miro Vlastelica ringing in their ears. Classic. Dylan Rose. Wide for the skipper in Adrian Vlastelica. Sends that to the right for Jennings. The half volley was blocked by Monahan Viker. Did they take the hand? Yes. Easy decision for Blake Sanchez Cruz. And United led off the hook. St George City breathe. Been an enthralling game here at Penshurst tonight. Chatting with Joe Russo, our reporter on duty at half-time, and we both agreed the opening quarter was pretty even, but City certainly deserving to be in front on the back of the play in this second quarter in particular. Webster, right-hand side. Is St George City threatening to make it to Pavlicic. Able to get down to it. Bit of pressure for Adam Pavlicic. Mind you, he had plenty on Wednesday night, converting the 11th penalty that got Sydney United through to the round of 16 in the Australia Cup. So far, New South Wales NPL is 3 from 3. Can Sydney Olympic complete the quartet on Thursday night against Brisbane Roar? Wish the Olympic boys all the best on Thursday night in their cup tie. Can we get another cup set? We've had plenty this year in the round of 32. We're only getting going. Now, Sydney United on the counter-attack here down the left-hand side. Tomoki Wada. In fact, that's Mason Wells out there on the left. On the left-hand side for Sydney United. Throw into the box. Headed away nicely and cleared out by Saba. Does well. Webster fighting for it. Does he win the free? No. Referee says play on. Down the left-hand side, Wells works it into the box. Kenny did well to claim that. The oncoming United defence was coming in numbers. Chimenti among those. Threatening along with Tomoki Wada. This one has well and truly come to life after half-time. Got a great one here at Penshurst for Saturday night football. Real football, homegrown. This is as homegrown as it gets. Free kick, Sydney United. This is as homegrown and real as it gets. Penshurst on a Saturday night. And the home fans are happy. They're in front. 8 minutes into the second. McGing. Jennings. City defence has been excellent tonight. Given very little away. Back line of Berry, Monahan, Viker and Tep doing an outstanding job shutting down the United defence. Jennings tries to thread the needle. Tomoki Wada for De Oliveira. No. Saba sees it away. It'll be a throw deep on the right. Attacking the cricket centre end in the second half, Sydney United. St George City attacking the aquatic centre off to our left. Back to Michael Glasic. Now Vlastelica. Under pressure. Copped a bump and Webster a little bit slow to his feet there. Took a heavy knock. Vlastelica, no frills. The big central defender. Tep using his size and frame to muscle his way through there. Dylan Rose now on it. Vlastelica finding half a metre of space. The captain. They swing it left-hand side, but it's intercepted. Challenge was ridden there by St George City. Now it's Liam McGing. Classic and Vlastelica. Long ball looking for Carlos de Oliveira. As it cleared away, was there a foul? Referee says no. Leroy Jennings under pressure. Wins the throw. Vlastelica down the line. Works it forward. Here's a chance, but Tep clears it away. The free kick advantage played and paid for Sydney United. So the free kick about 10 metres outside the 18-yard box. Might have pinched an extra metre or two there, United. The Dark Arts on display. So will it be Wada or maybe Leroy Jennings over? No, it'll be might be Mason Wells over the ball. Dangerous Mason Wells. .11 minutes into the second. Are we about to level up? The ball into the box and just wide. A great ball in, bouncing ball. Kenny had to stretch. And it's out for a corner. Took a deflection on the way through. So a corner for Sydney United on the right. Mason Wells goes short to Wada. Now across to De Oliveira. Has to go back to Wada again. Tight spaces there for Carlos de Oliveira. They're not giving him a centimetre of room. Mason Wells comes in, but it's cleared away, heaved away towards halfway, and Dylan Rose. Almost at the hour mark. St George City 1, Sydney United 0. But they're trying to do something about it. Wells takes on Tep. That one away to the left. Out for another corner. Shots are coming thick and fast after half-time. We've got an absolute humdinger here tonight. The late game, if you've been out and about and missed the scores, boy, do we have some news for you. We'll go through those after the corner here and the passage of play comes to an end. Corner into the near post, headed away easily. So I'll just confirm the final score out of today's matches, and it did end up as expected. So we can go through all the scores from round 25 thus far. Of course, last night we kicked off at Cromer Park. Manly United 4, Sydney Olympic 0. The Olympic charge coming to an end momentarily. De Oliveira, does he keep it in? No. Out for a goal kick. So Manly United 4, Sydney Olympic 0 last night. Tonight it's been St George FC 0, Sydney FC 0 at Barton Park. RPL Leichhardt 4, University of New South Wales 1 at Lambert Park. At Christie Park, Spirit FC 0, Western Sydney Wanderers 4. And the upset of the weekend, possibly the season so far, SD Raiders 2, Marconi Stallions 1. So what does that do to the ladder, they ask? As it stands, it's RPL Leichhardt top of the table, 57 points. Marconi 55, Sydney United 51. That's your top three, and then it's Sutherland, Rockdale and Sydney FC all on 36. Manly up to 34. Wollongong 32. That's your top 8. Wollongong, Rockdale and Sutherland all play tomorrow. Wollongong take on Blacktown City at Macedonia Park, while at the Illingdon it's Rockdale and Sutherland, the local derby in the Shire. The Sharks will be up for that one at the Illingdon tomorrow afternoon to round out round 25. So we have a new leader atop the table, 25 matches complete, almost in the NPL season. Here's a chance for United, but it's just across the face of goal. It'll run out for a throw. Should be a St George City throw. Deep on the left. Certainly appears that way. Got a whistle here. In fact, I think it's going to be a goal kick, is it? Or I'm just looking a little confused here. No, I think they've ruled offside, in fact. So it'll be offside against Sydney United. As we roll over the hour mark. D'Oliveira trying to create something for Sydney United. They trail thanks to that goal. Lucas Bedleg on 49 minutes, tapping it home to give City a 1-0 lead. That is a massive goal for St George City in the context of their season. As it stands, they would go to 28 points. They'd remain in 14th, but they'd be on 28 points, level with Blacktown City. And how many points are they above the relegation zone? They'd move up to 8 points clear. 8 points clear with only 5 more matches to go. Not quite home free, but Mickey Ural would relish 3 points tonight. He would bottle them and put them on the mantelpiece if he could. Still almost half an hour to go here at Penshurst. They do have a corner on the right-hand side, St George City. Can they double down? It's been all United after half-time. Precious little action inside the Sydney United final third. Ball into the area. Oh, it's cleared off the line. Great last-ditch defending from Sydney United. Pavlicic was beaten. Second ball in across the face. Tep chases after it. He'll just keep it in front of the corner flag. Rossello doubles back. Trying to fashion something here. It'll be a St George City throw. I think they got that one right. The Sydney United fans won't agree. I thought they took a deflection off Sydney United last. It'll be Solomon John Monaghan Vicar with the long throw into the area. Dangerous ball in. Still there to be won inside the box. Eventually cleared, and the free kick will not be given. It's offside against St George City. They're second for the night. We've gone 63 and a half minutes, and Mickey Ural still not going to the bench. Although, as I speak, he's got 2 on the touchline ready to go. Wait for this play to break. Ben Berry nodding it well away. Been excellent behind the ball tonight, St George City. Monaghan Vicar down the left. Has options inside, including Saba. Now Webster wanted to shoot. Lays it off. That'll be too deep. That'll end up with Lance Greenshields on the far side of the ground. Now the substitutions to be made. I think the fourth official might have been caught a little bit short here. So let's see who comes off for St George City. Looks like Webster's night is done. So a double change from Mickey Earl. With just over 25 to go. The other one coming off was Luca Bedleg, the goal scorer. Lucas Bedleg putting the home side in front just after half time. So both teams making one double change.
St George City coming off. Number 9, Lucas Bedleg and Spencer Webster to be replaced by Tarek Urquhart and Jon Pedersen.
So Jon Pedersen, as you may have heard through the ground announcer, along with Tarek Urquhart coming on. Pedersen in number 16. Urquhart in number 6. Replacing Spencer Webster and Lucas Bedleg. Throw on the right-hand side for St George City. And under plenty of pressure tonight, St George putting the pressure on Sydney United. And United have had their hands full all night long, been given precious little time and room. Mickey Earl has drawn up a master plan here. Free kick goes the way of Sydney United. Lance Greenshields spotting the foul against the visitors. Dylan Rose back to Michael Glassick. Swung it very wide to the far side of the ground. We're into the final quarter of this one. Can the home side steal 3 points of valuable, vital 3 points? Ball into the area looking for Louis Coury. Still there, eventually scrambled away by Leroy Jennings. It'll be a United throw. Been a tough hunting ground, Penshurst Park, for Sydney United. Last year they won 2-0. Thanks to Marco Arambasic and Mason Wells. In 2024, the home side won it 2-1 in round 15, the midway point of the season, and their first meeting was here at Penshurst in 2023, when it was Patrick Antelmi in stoppage time for Sydney United, pinching all 3 points with a 91st minute winner for the Adenza Park outfit. St George City being promoted after the 2022 season. Had 7 meetings with Sydney United. They have recorded a couple of victories, so they do match up well against Sydney United. It was 0-0 back at Adenza Park earlier this season in their first round meeting. That was round 10. So no goals on that occasion at Adenza Park. I think that was the first time Sydney United had been beaten or not taken all 3 points. Shot comes in, takes a deflection, scrambled wide by Pavlicic. Corner City. Pavlicic has been scrambling in his goal mouth tonight. Certainly hasn't been the most comprehensive performance from Adam Pavlicic, but nonetheless, he's kept it to one. Could easily have been multiples. Mind you, we still have over 20 minutes remaining, so time is still there for St George City. See the big frame of Tep loitering inside the 6-yard box. Trying to cause problems for the United defence. They've had to clear off their line. What can they do with this one, City? They'll swing it into the near post. Across the face and out wide for a goal kick. Again, it flashes past the post on the wrong side for St George City. Maybe Lady Lucky's not on their side, although they do lead it by a goal to nil with 20 to go. Mike Sheen with you tonight on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. Great to have your company. Carlos Oliveira inside the box. Confusion reigns, but Jack Kenny keeps his head and claims possession. That is a high roost from Jack Kenny. 65 metres plus, if you don't mind. Sent back from whence it came. City returning serve. That one rolls out. It'll be a St George City throw. We're going to have another double change for Miro Vlastelica. Coming off is Tomislav Azanic. Just trying to pick up who the new players are for Sydney United. Here's a chance. Bassam, Salah, can't finish. Sabah had the goal at his mercy and couldn't complete the job. Michael Krislovic has come on for Sydney United. The leading goal scorer with 7 for the club. Mulkiwada. Now Liam McGing. Michael Glassick. Out for Adrian Vlastelica down the line. Nice looking ball.
United coming off, number 35, Tomislav Azanic, and number 9, Kyle Cementi, to be replaced by number 12, Gabriel Tillo.
Gabriel Tillo, the other player on, replacing Kyle Cementi. So Miro Vlastelica really going for broke here inside the final 20. But it may be all in vain. Here's a chance for Monaghan Viker down the left-hand side. Can he cut it into the box? Tried to centre it. McGing got back. It's been cleared away up to D'Oliveira. Playing advantage. Ball forward is a nice one. Kenny comes out. That'll end up here in the top of the grandstand. In fact, on the roof. Look out, King George's Road behind us. Look out behind us. The balls are flying. Leroy Jennings decides he won't take the throw. I thought that was headed our way, but it ended up on the roof and no doubt over and out behind us. Be a fright for some poor driver seeing a football come flying at you at a rate of knots. Especially on a Saturday night on a busy road like that. Let's get back to the football. An enthralling game. St George City leading 1-0. Jennings, Tep using that frame of his, wins a goal kick. Leroy Jennings trying to plead his case. So Miro Vlastelica has Julian Kopp or Anthony Tomilic, along with reserve keeper Adrian Jamie Bazina at his disposal, while for Mickey Ural, reserve keeper Franklin Jan, along with Oscar Gulterin, Paolo Mitri, Mason Tatafu and Malik Amin remain on the bench. That one well out of play. Almost down to the final quarter hour here. McGing taking that throw from Almost back in the grandstand, he was that far behind the sideline. He was almost out with us. Louis Curry's worked hard. He's dispossessed here. Ball wide for Gabriel Tillo on the right. Sends it into the goal mouth. Across the face it runs. That'll be a throw, I think, on the far side. Yes. Having a substitution here. I thought the referee indicated there might have been one, but the referee saying no. Long throw on the far side of the ground. St George City heave it forward again. Anywhere but here will do. A flood of red shirts. Looks like they're running with a back five here. St George City. 5-3-2 formation, if I'm not mistaken. It's been working for them so far through 75 and a half minutes. McGing. Now Dylan Rose. City on the defensive. That'll be too deep, will it? Tillo doesn't keep it in. He did cross the line according to Hayden Kay, our official on the near side, the assistant. Thought it had beaten Tillo there, and Hayden Kay agreed. So it'll be a goal kick for St George City. Time becoming a friend with under 14 to go. It'll be win number 7 if they can hold on. 7 wins, 7 draws and 11 losses for them if the result stands. But the 3 points is what matters. Nice ball there from D'Oliveira looking for Tillo. That one ended up halfway back to the M5. Now we'll have double change for St George City. Coming off will be Bassam Saba and Stefano Rossello. Back underway following the substitutions. I can see Malik Amin has come on in number 21. That's him working towards the line there, but McGing shepherds that one out. Trying to pick up who the other substitute that came on for St George City was. Tep heads that away. Gabriel Tillo, what can he do? With Malik Amin in hot pursuit, the answer is not much. The other player who's come on is Paolo Mitri in number 10. So both teams with 4 subs used now. D'Oliveira on the edge of the 18 had it taken away from him. That will go over and out for a throw for Sydney United. McGing fires it into the box. Jennings and McGing. Back to Glassick. Across to Adrian Vlastelica. Had to hurry. Dylan Rose didn't really have control of it. St George City forcing the turnover. Wanting the foul but don't get it. Now Sydney United. D'Oliveira Can't get around Tep, and he wins another goal kick for the home side. They know this is getting closer, St George City. Inside 10.5 minutes now, plus stoppages. Vlastelica didn't quite clear that how he wanted. A chance for St George City. They'll get the throw. We're going to have the final change for Sydney United now. Looks like the end of the night for Liam McGing. So he's done with 10 to go. Miro Vlastelica emptying the bench. And Julian Kopp coming on in the number 2 shirt for Sydney United. So Anthony Tomalich will be the unused sub tonight. Monahan Viker heads that up and away. Classic. Took a long time to get it into play. Had about 4 goes at trying to find somebody. But the defending from St George City was up to the task. They almost force an error here. D'Oliveira has to retreat. He has possession on the right wing. Glassick further afield now. Julian Kopp gets it inside. D'Oliveira swings it left. Crossfield for Leroy Jennings. Struggling to find an avenue forward here, Sydney United. D'Oliveira blazing from 30-odd metres. Now a chance for St George City. Free kick goes the way of Sydney United. The home fans can't believe it. They thought they'd done enough there through Malik Amin. Referee Blake Sanchez Cruz ruling the other way. 8.5 to go. Temperature heading south, but that's only in the air. The temperature on the field is rising. Sydney United, the juggernaut. Can they keep rolling? Can they take points out of Penshurst? D'Oliveira tries to work it forward. But again, St George City on the edge of the 18-yard box getting bodies back. As a result, nobody forward in red and white. Nice work there from Jon Pedersen, leading goal scorer with 5. That one into the area. Pavlicic right on the edge of his area, tiptoeing along the tulips to keep it in. Nice ball headed forward, trying to pick out Michael Krislovic. It'll be a goal kick at the other end. Up-tempo football being played on your Saturday night. And it's St George City by the lone goal with 7.5 to go. Ball headed on down the line by Jon Pedersen. Amin can't get there. There will be a St George City throw on the left. Solomon John Monahan Viker sucking in the big ones on the touchline. Said a few times the game's been played at a good tempo tonight. Amin on the left. In fact, it's worked forward by Jon Pedersen. Here's a chance on the other side for Paolo Mitri. But Sydney United able to clear. Krislovic forward. He's the lone man up there. Kenny heaves it on that right boot. 70, 80 metres. Offside against St George City. Sydney United at the point where they not just throw the kitchen sink at St George City, but the fixtures and the fittings and the appliances. They haven't just entered the last chance saloon. They've ripped the doors off and thrown them out onto the street. Amin, along with Pedersen, pressing hard for St George City, trying to find that second to kill it off. D'Oliveira. Tep. Tried to hook it over the body. Headed away by Ben Jarson. Cleared away by St George City at the second attempt. Better effort there from Louis Curry. The first one not so good. The second one much better. And that back five working double time here. Keeping this Sydney United attack out. So many options all across the park. But through 85 and a half, they've done a stellar job to keep a clean sheet. Ball worked forward. Classic, deep on the right. He's going to leave it for Gabriel Tillo. Long throw sent back by Tep. Says, get that out of here. Not tonight, you don't. They try again. D'Oliveira on the edge of the box. Didn't even get a shot away. Second effort. Wada tipped away. Flag is up for offside. It wouldn't have counted anyway. Tomoki Wada with the effort. Another shot on target for Sydney United, but they haven't found the back of the net. Final couple of minutes of regulation here at Penshurst tonight. Kenny. Been rock solid at the back, Jack Kenny. Here's a chance for St George City. Played out wide. Paolo Mitri brings it back inside. Louis Curry bends it across. There was a body in the middle. Couldn't get a boot on it. It's off City. It'll be a Sydney United throw. Clock shows 2:45 and counting in regulation. United desperate to get forward to get something here. Can only imagine what Miro Vlastelica must be thinking. What he wants to say to his boys at full time. If the result stands, almost a chance, but it's gone wide. Michael Krislovic got onto it, but just couldn't control it. Kenny had come out, and Krislovic couldn't steer it goalward. United fans rose for a moment, but then had to settle in their seats once again. The 2-minute warning. St George City 1, Sydney United 58-0. Mike Sheen with you from Penshurst tonight. Saturday night football, it's been a good one. The lone goal in it. And it's been the underdog, the outsider in this one, who's got the goal. Lucas Bedleg for St George City. And they do something late here, City, to seal it. United throwing everything, including the kitchen sink at them. Amin down the right. Controls it. Into the 18-yard box, lays it off. Shot comes in, straight at Pavlicic. 70 seconds left in regulation. They managed to keep it in. Tillo tried to find Kopp. It'll be a Sydney United throw. The urgency from United. Referee calling play to a halt for Louis Curry. In fact, he's been replaced by the looks of it. He's been substituted, Louis Curry. His night's done in the 89th minute. So, Mickey Ural emptying the bench in stoppage time. Obviously believes he's done enough here to get the 3 points. How much added time will Blake Sanchez Cruz allow? Tom Selden will give us the answer in a matter of moments.
Substitution for St. George City coming off Louis Curry to be replaced by Oscar Gultigan.
Oscar Gultigan in number 7 coming on, replacing Louis Curry. 4 minutes of added time. 4 minutes remain here at Penshurst.
4 minutes of added time.
Referee Blake Sanchez Cruz says, take it again, thank you, Michael Glassick. So 4 minutes of added time, a minimum of 4 minutes to go. Can Sydney United pull something out of the fire in red time second half? Or can City hold on for a vital 3 points? May well help keep them in the top division for next year. Bodies on the deck. They thought they'd won a foul there, or should have won one for Ben Berry. Referee didn't agree. It's been turned over here. Sydney United counter-attack. Krislovic lays it off. Jennings into the box. Still not cleared. Great defence from St George City. Sees it away. The United fans groan in anguish. Berry watches as Kenny falls on it. United throwing everything at this one in stoppage time. We've had nearly 90 seconds. About 2.5 to go. We make it. City holding on for dear life. Mason Wells down the right. Cuts it in. The shot comes in off the post. Tipped around the bar. Kenny. Outstanding save. Corner United. That was destined for the bottom corner, but somehow Kenny got a hand on it. Pushed it around the bar and out for a corner. 3rd minute of added time now. Corner taken. They want to shoot here, United. Dylan Rose. Ball worked in. Tep. We'll see it up and out. Briefly. Wells has it. Right corner. No room to work. Swings it in somehow. Headed up. Still there for United. They can't get a shot away. Flustelitza got it in. Sent back out. All hands. Wells keeps it in. The United fans riding every pass. The referees ruled a free kick outside the 18-yard box, is it? And Mason Wells has got himself a yellow card. United fans not happy. Into the 94th minute we go. A free kick just out on the edge of the 18-yard box. Tomoki Wada with the urgings of the United fans behind him. Can he work some magic late? Desperate for points here, Sydney United. Kenny parries away. Ball back in. Bodies everywhere. Has to be cleared by St George City. It isn't. Wada takes a deflection. Cries of handball. It's put out. It'll be a corner, Sydney United. The fans to my right urging on the United players. Mason Wells. We've hit almost 4 minutes. All or nothing. Only Pavlicic inside the defensive half. Up they fly. Out it goes. Referee says goal kick. That could be enough for St George City. 21 players inside the attacking half. That is full time. St George City hold on for a massive win over Sydney United. It was Lucas Bedleg with the goal in the 49th minute, separating these two teams. Full time, and it's St George City 1, Sydney United 0. Yellow cards and a send-off after the final whistle. Mason Wells, I think it is, must have said something after the final whistle. Wells gets a second yellow, so he'll miss next week. And there's afters here. That's not a good sight. He quickly breaks up. But full time here at Penshurst. Adrian Vlastelica got a yellow. I'm trying to sign off here, but there's too much going on. It looks like everything's almost settled down now. I think we can finally draw breath and say goodnight. Full time here at Penshurst Park. Sydney United 0, St George City 1. I'm Mike Sheen. Thank you for joining us. If you didn't enjoy that, well, I don't know. That was a cracking game of football for the team. Thanks for joining us. Good night.